We should probably preview the game tonight, Baggedmilk. Got Dallas in town.
Is it win and they're in?
Not quite.
Okay,
Not quite.
I saw somebody tweeted that they could clinch tonight, and then somebody else was like, no, they need 4 points.
Yeah, not quite. They need 4 points. So we need a win and a Vegas loss or a LA loss, or a Vegas loss. Sorry, but I don't know the math, man. I just my brain doesn't compute. You know,
You didn't
Just
get
win
into
and get
this
in.
for math, did you?
No.
Well, I think what ended up happening, I think it was supposed to be a little bit more cut and dry, but then last night happened. And there was like 4 shootouts and a couple of overtime losses. And I think it just made the whole thing a complete mess.
Well, and all of a sudden, Vancouver
We're
played
close.
themselves into the mix as well, and it's just like, well, where'd you come from? So it's added a different wrinkle in there as well.
They're
All I
definitely-
care about, like, to be honest, is whatever it takes to keep Vegas out. That's all I want. They've had way too much fun since they've come into this league. They've had no hardship. The fans are annoying. The experience is great, but ultimately, I think they're due for a bad time.
Well, and they're trying the old Tampa Bay Lightning thing with Mark Stone there too, activating him late in the season. And
I know those guys were hurt. I get it, but like, how convenient that you can just throw 3 or 4 guys on the LTIR to clear up just enough space to get your captain free. It's just, I'm calling shenanigans in an old school fashion.
It'll be interesting though to see as we close out the regular season, Baggedmilk, how this is all going to play out, because it looks like it's going to be the last day. Like, we're going to be having games on that final Saturday where it's going to decide
they actually
the playoffs.
matter.
Yeah, it's really close. And it's interesting too, because the West, there's still spots to be won, whereas in the East, everything's kind of locked up. It's just maybe the order might change a little bit, but in the West, there's still, Edmonton, I feel good about where they're at. They got 94 points, 2 games in hand on the Kings, but there's some jockeying for spots for that 3rd place.
If the playoffs did start tonight, who would we be playing? And is that a conversation we should or shouldn't be having?
Well, if we're going to count our chickens, if we started the playoffs today, the Oilers would play Los Angeles
without Drew Doughty.
Without Drew Doughty, so he's going to be gone. So that's unfortunate for them, but that would be a big win for the Oilers, especially Connor McDavid, because those two have had some great battles over the years. But
I don't hate that matchup.
I don't hate it either. But to be honest, I'm one of those people that just get in and we'll see what happens, because I remember all too well going into 2006 thinking that the Red Wings were just going to trounce the Oilers, and that's not what happened. So just get in and you never know.
Oh, we got the Jets. Okay, good matchup. Then you get swept. Like, it's the playoffs.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it will be interesting. Speaking of putting the cart before the horse.
Are you planning the parade now?
Well, no.
To which end of Jasper do we start on?
No.
We have to end at the pint, so we could just tour the cup around the back bar.
I just think it's interesting. I know that Marc-Andre Fleury is not coming to Edmonton for his last year. Like, I can wrap my head around that. I know that's not going to keep me up at night. But does Holland make a call? Does he get on the phone and go, hey, is there at least a conversation here? That's got to happen, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury, like, he's going to play the one more year, at least wants to. I don't think there's any chance he comes here. But to answer the question, yeah, I think that Ken Holland picks up the phone and checks in with his agent, be like, his agent's Alan Walsh. So he'd be like, hey, what's the deal here? Like, would he have any interest in coming to play with Connor and Leon in Edmonton? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and if he doesn't do that, then I don't know that he's necessarily doing his job to his full potential. Now, I don't think that Fleury's going to come here anyway, but absolutely, you make the call. Sure.
Yeah, we didn't really set up tonight's game there either. Maybe we should do that. Dallas tonight. Dallas is in a playoff spot, I believe. Holding one of the wild card spots.
Yeah, Dallas is battling for the wild card spot, so they're going to be motivated. And not only that, they seem to be the Oilers' kryptonite a little bit, just like the Minnesota Wild. The Dallas Stars are one of those teams where it's just like the Oilers haven't figured them out lately, and they are gagging for points. So they're hanging on to that second wild card spot right now in the Western Conference. So this is a huge game for both teams. Like, the Oilers could do themselves a ton of favor by wrapping this one up and just moving ahead, adding even more space between themselves and Vegas and now Vancouver. And then on Dallas's perspective, they want to get this wild card spot locked in. So it's going to be a big game tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, because last time these two teams met up, it didn't go well for Edmonton. So they want to rebound a little bit.
Yeah. And Evander Kane is going to be in the lineup tonight because he was away from the team because he had his grievance thing with San Jose. his like trial or whatever you want to call it. But I think he's going to be back tonight, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. At least that's what's he's supposed to be back in the lineup. Obviously, missing him would be a huge.
If he'll wear
hole
his
to fill.
mask on the plane.
Well, we'll see how it goes, right?
Who
So
knows?
he had
He's-
he's
know
got
what?
23
Knock
million reasons to fly out to New York.
Knock on wood. He hasn't been a gong show that we've heard of.
No.
Right?
He's been fine. He's been everything you'd want a guy to come in and do. There's been no distractions, at least not that we've heard. He's played well on the ice, and it's going to be interesting to me what happens with him going forward, because it seems like the Oilers would be interested in bringing him back, but he's having a hell of a year, and he may have priced himself out of the Oilers' plans. But we'll see how it goes.
Who knew?
Get creative.
Who knew the 67th chance would finally pay off? Right?
It's yeah. But you know what? Hopefully this is one of those situations where it's sunk a little bit. It's like, hey man, do you want to play in the National Hockey League? Because this could be your last chance. And to his credit, he's grabbing it.
And it's not going to affect his contract with the Oilers and how this grievance goes, is it? I don't think.
No. Well, the only way, this is just me speculating, obviously, but the only way I can see it affecting his contract with the Oilers would be like, if he gets his chunk of money back from the San Jose Sharks, maybe he's a little bit more open to signing on a shorter or lesser money deal with the Oilers going forward to stay with Connor McDavid. But outside of that, I don't think it really affects anything too much.
Well, San Jose is chewing on part of his contract right now, even with this dispute. No,
I believe they're free and clear, but I could be wrong on
oh, I thought they were, because I thought that's how they fit him into this.
I thought when the last time they got
I
suspended or whatever, they were able to terminate his contract completely, and that's the grievances. He's saying, "You guys still owe me money."
Okay,
Yeah,
you wrongfully terminated it.
I just so I'm just quickly scanning over the news report so they did terminate his contract entirely back in January. So right now he's looking to get back $22.9 million from the Sharks. So
He does need
we'll
it.
see how
so-
that goes.
yeah,
See how that goes.
broke. Just give me half, like not even. Give me a quarter of
Just
that.
a little bit, please.
I'll be good for the rest of my life. All right, Baggedmilk, thank you for your time.
Thanks, boys.
Baggedmilk, Oilers Nation. By the way, a quick heads up on the start time. That's an earlier game tonight, 6:30 puck drop. Thank you,
That's
Baggedmilk.
good news. Love it.
The Locker Room.
Brought to you by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.